As most of you are aware, the Sly Cooper series has 4 games. We have the main 3 that are associated with the series, these being Thieves Raccoonus, Band of Thieves, and Honor Among Thieves. And then we have the 4th game, Thieves in Time. I grew up with all 3 earlier games and I loved and adored them. This series was unique and felt like a powerhouse title for Sony back in the day, including the likes of Jak and Daxter and Ratchet & Clank. So when the announcement for Sly Cooper 4 was made, I was ecstatic. I watched every E3 trailer and watched every snippet of footage on YouTube. Come time for the game's release, me and my cousin played it on day 1. My excitement quickly turned to sadness. The game was bad, and at the same time my younger self couldn't put my finger on why. I did not enjoy it like the other Sly games before. As I grew older, I realized the game was not published by Sucker Punch, but was actually made by Sanzaru Games. I have never heard of this studio before, but I quickly came to despise them. They were the same studio responsible for one of, if not the worst Sonic games to be made, Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. This game still gives me shivers for how garbage it is. So to see this company not only ruin Sonic but also Sly Cooper, 2 series I hold very dear to me, pissed me off. Sonic at the time was going through the Dark Ages era, as it's known, from 2010 to 2020, so Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric was yet another failure in the series and a new low point. Sly Cooper, however, had a very good track record for fans, so this new game in the series, Sly 4, was a change in that perspective. I won't dwell into the details about why the game is bad in this video, I will save that for another time, but we need to discuss what Sanzaru Games has done to the series to put it in a state of limbo that it's in. I'm sure you guys read the title for today's video. Can we expect Sly Cooper 5? This question needs a bit of an analysis. Here's a question for you guys. Should we count Sly 4 as canon? I'm being serious when I ask this. Me personally, I think we should throw it out the window. The ending in the game sees Sly being abandoned in what appears to be Egypt. I think they should ignore Thieves in Time and call it the next game Sly 4. Think about it for a second. Why do you think Sanzaru never called the game Sly 4 to begin with, and instead called it Thieves in Times? Because if the game was trash or flop, they can say the game is not canon as it's technically not called Sly 4. It's a half-ass way of not taking accountability when you ruin the series, as you can bail out. Surprisingly, I like this as we can start fresh and ignore their heaping pile of trash. That's one good thing these guys did, at least. If we create Sly 4 and start off fresh from where Sly 3 ended, then this would be best. Sucker Punch wouldn't have to deal with Sanzaru's drastic story changes, like making Penelope a villain for example and betraying the Cooper gang. I think we should scrap Thieves in Time and start fresh, then Sly can have a good chance to be revived as a series. Next point to discuss is Sony and Sucker Punch's stance. I don't work at either company, so I'm not sure what the logistics are about a new Sly game. I'm very sure the demand is there and fans are hungry for years for something Sly related. A couple years back, we even had the Sly movie teased and then heard nothing but radio silence. I was very excited for that personally and was saddened to hear it got cancelled silently. We even got the Ratchet & Clank movie around that time. Although I love the Ratchet series, it stung that Sly couldn't get his movie. I'm also confused on why Sucker Punch Games didn't create Sly 4 and instead handed their baby off to a new studio. They built the series up from nothing and to hand it over to a new studio that doesn't know your series well is strange. I have a theory on why we have no new Sly games, however. My theory is that Sucker Punch Games thinks Sly Cooper is beneath them. They make games like Ghost of Tsushima, which is widely popular and adored. They also saw how Sly Thieves in Time performed badly because of Sanzaru and thought to abandon the series in search of greener pastures. It's the same thing with Naughty Dog and Jak and Daxter. They both create a story-rich and cool world with Jak and Daxter and Sly, build a loyal fanbase and player base who grew up playing the series and loved it, and then throw it all out the window once games like The Last of Us take off. Why do studios abandon their core audiences? Just because The Last of Us took off and became mainstream, what about your old fans? You know, the ones that built you up and supported and tried your new IPs. Instead, they would rather make The Woke of Us and Ghost of Tsushima and appeal to a much larger casual audience and ignore the large community built around their original games like Sly and Jak. I didn't mean for this to become a rant, but I need to vent a bit. Sly 5 in 2025 is looking very unlikely. Why would Sucker Punch or Naughty Dog bother making these niche series games for older fans when they can rack in easy money making AAA slop for the average normie to consume? This whole situation is drawing parallels with Nvidia. I'm not sure how many of you are PC users, but let me give you the rundown. Nvidia is a graphics card manufacturer since day one. They produce video cards, aka graphics cards, for PC so that gamers could play video games. They built their company around this core audience. Once AI took off in late 2022, they now make almost 95% of their revenue from AI data centers like ChatGPT and Google Gemini, selling these data centers extremely overpriced AI GPUs. They've abandoned PC gamers who they have built their company on the backs of. They jack up the prices of graphics cards, make mediocre performance increases every couple years, and stagnate the industry by not innovating the video cards. It's the same thing with Intel and how they lost to AMD as they would stagnate the industry. Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog could easily make a Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper game, even if they released one every 2 to 3 years, but they actively ignore or don't care. Fans have been asking for years, but once again they abandoned their core audience base to pursue the mainstream audience. There was a saying I read somewhere that really stuck with me, and I'll bring it up here on the screen when I find it. A game made for everyone is a game made for no one. So to conclude, I don't think we will get Sly 5 in the near future. Sucker Punch can just push out more AAA slop and make 10 times the money they would making a Sly game. They put their backs on the Sly Sly fanbase and betrayed us just like with Nvidia. Same thing with Naughty Dog, with the Jak and Daxter series. Being a Sonic and Sly fan in 2025 is suffering. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Sly 5 will ever happen? I highly doubt it myself. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.